Welcome to the episode of the Court Report. We've got some really exciting stuff to talk about today. First off, we're going to deep dive into the mine shaft and dissect the Nuggets' last couple of games, followed by some talk around the league with Around the League. And then we'll finish everything off with some Court Report live reactions all today in this episode. Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show. Welcome, everyone. We've got a terrific Thanksgiving edition episode of the Court Report here for you today. Gobble, gobble, everybody.
Gobble, gobble.
Well, I have a lot to give thanks for this year, but I know the biggest thing for me is going into the mine shaft here to talk about the Nuggets. The Nuggets have been winning some games lately. They've been struggling in some games lately. I mean, we've got a lot to talk about, DC.
We have a lot to talk about. I think that, the Nuggets are in an interesting position right now because on one hand, they're doing well. The record's well. They're playing and eking out games right now and winning. But also on the other hand, we're seeing play not up to the level that we're used to seeing. And I think that's an interesting spot to be in, because when you start playing down to the competition a little bit and you start getting in some of these closer games, people start to think, oh, well, it's okay, we won. But it could be dangerous for later on in the year when you're going to need to step it up and play your best.
Yeah, and you bring playing down to the level of the competition, and I think that perfectly sums up our previous two games against the Kings, which was a loss at home, heartbreaking loss, close to the wire, and then the Grizzlies. Now, granted, they beat the Grizzlies by 10, but that just doesn't paint the whole picture of what we saw in that game. It was a struggle from the beginning to the end. The game was within at least 10 points the entire time. Starters playing extended minutes. It's just not what we want to see against a bottom-rated team that has majority of their stars out. Jaren Jackson Jr. was minus 26 in the plus-minus category, and it was still a 10-point game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just unacceptable. I mean, you do the right jobs on the right players, but get beat by other players, and that's not winning brands of basketball. And I think that there is a lot to dissect with these last couple of games. Now, there can't be enough said about beating the Rockets. It's a similar situation as the next two games. We had extended road trips. Everything was pretty difficult, but then you have a victory against the Rockets, which was incredibly amazing to watch. I mean, all the Nuggets fans watching that games had to have been happy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Rockets are a tough team, and they're going to be there. I think that they'll end up in the top 5 or 6 teams when it comes down to the playoffs. But you got a guy like Sengun, who is just he's an up and coming star in the league. He's always going to be a tough guy to play every game in and game out. But getting a win against a Rockets team who is very good is a plus. Now, when you go back to that Grizzlies game, there is a lot to be desired, or a lot left to be desired there. You got a great game from Jokic, who, another triple-double. You had a great game from Jamal Murray. You had Tim Hardaway come in, step up. You had Peyton Watson, 27 points. I mean, those are the players. Peyton Watson. I want to see Tim Hardaway, obviously Cameron Johnson and Valanciunas really come in and have a stamp on every single game. And I think that from the top they did, but the rest of the bench was pretty much lackluster in that game. You don't want to see your best player have almost a triple-double and you're in a one-score game coming down to it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you mentioned the superb performances from 3 of the starters there. Spencer Jones got the start in that game and ended in the negative in the plus-minus category.
Yeah.
It's early season rotation testing is what we're doing. You know, the Grizzlies are a bottom 5 team. Kings are theoretically a bottom-tier team. They have a lot of talent, but they aren't translating to wins. They were on an 8-game losing streak going into that victory over the Nuggets.
I was going to ask you about Spencer.
There's a lot. I mean, Spencer Jones, from what I've seen so far, he's just too green. He's not ready on the offensive end. I think he plays with a lot of heart. He plays with a lot of hustle, but it's just not translating to victories, and it's translating to a drain on the starting 5. When we look at the advanced statistics from the Grizzlies game specifically, Tim Hardaway Jr. and Bruce Brown walk out in the double digits positive in the plus minus category, while none of the starters do.
None.
So that tells me that the rotation that they were playing with was just not really working for the chemistry that they had on the court. And you can have a good player and it just not work well with the dynamic of that unit. So I think Spencer Jones falls into that category. He's too much of a role-playing power forward, small forward type player, and he just did not work well with that starting five. I think putting Peyton Watson instead of the small forward, moving him to the power forward unit because he plays such a similar game to Aaron Gordon.
And he can play defense.
And then you combine that with like a Bruce Brown type, a Tim Hardaway Jr. type. I'd rather reserve Tim Hardaway Jr. for the backup unit so they have that really explosive scorer off the bench. But Bruce Brown knows how to play like Christian Brown.
Absolutely.
That's a fact.
Yeah, he's a gritty player. He's going to be like a spark type player, a spark plug type player where he's going to get out, he's going to play hard, he's going to get his hands in passing lanes, he's going to get kind of those defense to offense type plays for you. Come in and get a gritty rebound or get a draw a foul, right? Like Christian Brown is so good at drawing fouls that I think it kind of goes unnoticed. Or I think it does go noticed, but I think he goes unnoticed when he's playing, how much, because you don't see it in the stats. But being able to draw those gritty fouls, get people in foul trouble, get the rotations changed for the other team so you get them in favor. And I agree. I don't know if Spencer Jones is a starter on this team right now. I mean, obviously, if the starters were there, he's not. But I feel like he's probably in that third rotation more than in that second rotation, just from I think he plays good on the ball. He can get his hands in there and kind of make things messy. But for as many minutes as you get, you can't have 0 points. You can't have zero offensive kind of explosion in the game at all, right? And so if you're getting that many minutes, even off in this kind of off period right now where we're dealing with injuries, you got to have a bigger presence on the offensive end. Now, what we saw from Peyton Watson is really impressive. What we saw from Cam Johnson is what we expected, and what we saw from Tim Hardaway is what we expected. Obviously, Joker and Jamal are gonna be our workhorses, but you're gonna need them to have some games where they can take a little bit of a step back and rely on the bench as these injuries happen, because it's a long season, and we're already seeing other teams that are losing their star players early, but they're also getting better and getting rested. So that means as they go on, they'll probably be around. We got to make sure that our bench is really coming in and stepping up as we continue on over the next couple months here when we're dealing with some of these injuries at the top of our rotation.
No, I completely agree with that. And I think rotations have been key so far. And while it's early season rotation and they're working things out, what I would really like to see from Adelman is giving DaRon Holmes some minutes. The bench unit right now and the backup unit is severely lacking in that power forward position with Peyton Watson in the starting lineup. Now, I think Peyton Watson needs to be in the starting lineup at this point in the season. He's proven that, averaging over 16 points per game in all of his starts, along with his standards like 8 rebounds a game. I mean, he's been invaluable. He's essentially been a full-fledged replacement for Aaron Gordon in the starting lineup, which I love to see. He's even adopted the 3-point shot well. Yeah. This is compared to 6 points per game off the bench with only 10 minutes more per game played. So it's clear he works well with the starting dynamic. It's better for him as a player. And now what I'd like to see is it's early enough in the year. We need to start testing guys like DaRon Holmes, who at 6'10 is an amazing slot in for power forward. You have him as an athletic power forward combined with Valanciunas as that rock center position. That's a really dangerous low post lineup.
No, absolutely.
And he can stretch the floor. He can just play so many angles of the game. And I think what the other thing we're seeing right now, especially with the bench and the starters being out, is the absence of Julian Strother.
Yeah.
They've really lacked on the offensive end, and requiring Tim Hardaway Jr. and Bruce Brown to slot in with the starting unit rotations throughout the game has cost them bench points.
Yeah.
And this has been a main contributing factor in these close games.
Yeah. The bench productivity is, I mean, and Julian Strother, man, you say his name and I was like, dang, and I almost forgot to mention how much of a kind of a bump up in the energy and the just inside defensive and rebounding area that we're talking about. But yeah, overall, I would like to see Adelman kind of get deeper in those rotations there. We actually have a clip of Cam Johnson talking about how we need to see a little bit more from the bench. Let's see what he had to say.
Starting to hit that portion of the season where guys are getting hurt without CD for a little while, might be without AG for a bit. Is it harder to kind of keep adapting and keep progressing sort of in a linear way with that stuff when some of the rotations might just kind of change with the flow of the season based on injuries?
Those guys are really important to what we do. They're very talented players. CB and AG, very, greedy guys, contribute a lot to the game. But as part of the league, it's part of the game. 82 games is a long season. Sometimes things happen. And so I think we have the depth that we can next man up and rally and find ways to, maximize the guys that we have on the floor. And so I'm not going to use that as an excuse. I think we'll get it back together and keep pushing forward.
Yeah, and I love that from Cam Johnson. I mean, that's hitting the nail right on the head. That's exactly how I feel as a spectator of this game is they have to find a way. And technically they did against the Grizzlies. But again, it's coming off the loss at home against the Kings in a game they just shouldn't lose. It just should not have happened regardless of the injuries that are present. So I love that mentality from Cam Johnson. What a great stretch of games for him. We're finally starting to see the player that we intended to trade for at the beginning of this year. So it's really been great to see him now in these past 4 games average over 16 points per game, along with over 50% from 3-point land. That is all we could ask for from him right now. And if he can even remotely keep up this production, it's really going to contribute to some of these harder wins.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I can only imagine that when Aaron Gordon goes down, Adelman probably pulls Cam Johnson into the locker room, pulls him into the office and says, hey, look, all right, we're down 2 guys now. We're down 2 of our big guys. We brought you in because you're a 3-and-D, you're a dribble handoff, you're a get out and run guy. We're going to need you to step up here in the scoring. I know you've gotten off to a slow start scoring here at the beginning of the year. We're going to need you to step it up here now as these 2 are down. And you've seen it over the last 4 games. Like you said, he's really stepped it up. I think he's almost averaging over 15, 17 points a game. I got to go back and look, but it's probably around there. But you're also seeing that energy on defense that you came down. You see him getting into a stance early. You see him getting into the passing lanes and getting out and running. Then Adelman's using him as a dribble handoff guy where you can go down, dribble handoff, get the guard or get Jamal freed up, and then make a back cut or get Joker going in the middle. Those kind of plays is what's going to keep this offense alive and kind of going as we're missing the 2 big, guys that are going to be out for a while. But you're absolutely right. I like what we're seeing from him. And I think if he can become this guy for them the rest of the season, when the other 2 get back, it's going to be really hard to stop the Nuggets at all on offense.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I like that you mentioned bringing up specific play calling because I think that has contributed a lot into creating these close scenario games. We saw great consistent play calling against the Rockets, which was a heavy contributing factor in the victory over them. But then we switch over to a tired road trip, downtrodden Nuggets where they're exhausted, and that's fair. But like Cam Johnson said, similar to the injury situation, they have to find a way. Nuggets have the most back-to-backs in the league this year, so they need to figure it out. It's going to happen. Either it needs to be a cardio factor where they're getting in better shape, which I don't think is the case, or they just have to be able to brush off the mental fatigue that comes with the travel. And I think that is more so what they're seeing rather than a physical energy perspective. And so, I mean, when we look and analyze the Grizzlies game, because it had so many examples of this, they'd go on runs where we're getting into that plus category, we're extending the lead, we're starting to break away, and then the Nuggets fall into this habit that they historically have. We've talked about this in previous episodes where 1 guy's playing basketball and 4 guys are standing on a 5-out style offense where they're all on the perimeter and they're waiting for stuff to happen and we might get a cut. That's not running plays.
No,
that's playing pickup basketballs at the Y.
Yeah.
That's not how we're going to win these types of games. And they beat the Grizzlies. Sure. Jock Landale scored 26 points. They're running a zone defense that requires hustle. It requires hustle and effort. And I just don't think we've seen that these last 2 days.
No, I don't think we have. And, I said the term earlier, but I'll say it again. It's playing down to the competition. I think they go in and mentally as a team, you look around, you say, this is the talent that we have. We have the best player in the world who, my goodness, he's spinning, making 360 behind the back passes in the lane to get easy dunks and layups. You come in with a sense of confidence. You have good coaching. You have talented players, and then you have the best player in the league who can go for 40 if he wanted to every night. He just chooses to get everyone else involved into the game. You kind of come into that as a player with that in the back of your head. And then you become relaxed and you come out confident because you know it's a team that you should beat and you're better than, and you have better players than, and everything could and should go right. But then you come out and you start missing shots. Then you're sitting back and, like you're saying, relying on one-on-one game, standing around, watching, not getting involved. And then all of a sudden, oh, wait, this team is now beating us. Oh, wait, now we got to pick it up here, make sure we put them away here at the end, or we're going to lose a game that we shouldn't on the road. That kind of mental thing can't happen at this time of the year. It really can't, because if you can get wins right now when you're not 100%, the West is not going to be – is not letting up. The Thunder aren't slowing down. You see the Lakers are winning games. The Rockets are going to be tough in there. And this is a chance for the Nuggets to continue to stay in the top 4 without 2 of their best players. But you can't play down to the competition on a night-to-night basis, particularly in back-to-back weeks.
No, absolutely not. And, can we talk about Nikola Jokic for a little bit?
Let's talk about him. My gosh.
Can we talk about this guy? We talk about him all the time.
Incredible.
But he never runs out of things for us to discuss. I mean, one big headline that I've seen, and our fellow host, Liv, talked about this. People are saying that he doesn't care about basketball. I couldn't agree more with Liv's take on this situation. Are you crazy? Are you kidding me? Somebody doesn't throw one of the greatest, flashiest passes we have ever seen in basketball history because he doesn't care about basketball. The reason you guys feel like he doesn't care about basketball is because Jokic is out there playing for himself. He wants to be the best. He doesn't care if everyone thinks he's the best. That's what he wants to become as a personal player. It's more about his approach to the game. You don't go out there and play as flashy as Nikola Jokic does because you're clocking in for work, like everybody likes to say. Now, that may be what it looks like on the court, but he's just so focused on accomplishing his tasks that it gives him this perception that he doesn't care. But honestly, out of everyone in basketball, Nikola Jokic's mentality is one of the closest to Kobe Bryant's that you could ever see. This is exactly how Kobe used to operate. He wasn't out there celebrating. He was out there getting buckets and getting his job done and focused on his goal. And that's exactly how Nikola Jokic operates.
You're right. You're right. He's not going to be this over ecstatic player. He's not going to be, I've seen him jump up and down a couple times and, clap and be a little bit more animated. But even talking about the half court shot he hit the other night where he turns around, he grabs the ball, or it was an inbound pass. He turns around, sees that the guy's off of him 20 feet, chucks up a half court shot, hits it, just walks, turns around.
Job's not done.
Shrugs back.
Job's not finished.
Because the game's not over.
Yeah.
Right? It's just 3 points. And that's, I think, what I like so much about him and what is so polarizing, because you see other star players that we're used to, like Russ when he was in his prime, and he was very verbacious and he was very over animated, right? We see it a little bit with like a Luka. Luka can get in your face a little bit and give you a little bit of trash talk to your face, a little bit of excitement. LeBron, D Wade, all those players, they used to do it, but with Joker, it's different. It's just, this is me going to work. This is me getting it done. This is me putting up points and busting your, what. And he comes in and he does that every single night in and night out. He's undeniable. He's kind of like Thanos. He's inevitable. He's inevitable.
He is inevitable as a player. And, I just love watching it happen. There's a pretty split crowd when it comes to whether or not this is positive for the league. But if you look at all the greatest players,
how could it not be?
How could it not be?
How could it not
be? When we look back at the game, Jokic is going to be remembered as one of the most cold-blooded players to ever do it.
Oh, yeah.
And he's out there to accomplish his personal tasks, and I just love to see it. And as we expand our view to the rest of the league and start talking about around the league,
let's go around the league a little bit.
We've got a lot to get into with the rest of the league. I mean, we're looking at the Thunder right now, 17-1,
insane.
firm starters. And I got to talk about Shea here too a little bit. I I don't think there's been a recent player that I have disliked as much as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, that definitely has partly to do with me being a Nuggets fan, being a Jokic fan. There's some bad blood there, right? But just the fans that are associated with this man at the moment, I don't know if Shai is influencing you guys to act the way that you do, but for some guy to come in the league, produce pretty much the exact same game he did last season, not really improve with the injuries that everyone's talking about, playing the same minutes per game as majority of the starters in the league, including Nikola Jokic, playing identical minutes per game right now. I just don't get what you guys see. I just don't understand. The advanced statistics basically say the only thing that Shai is doing better than Jokic right now is scoring 3 points per game more. He's not doing it more efficiently. He's not scoring threes better.
No.
If you take away his free throws, Jokic is scoring more points. It just, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get why he has such a big following right now. I just don't understand. Call me a hater, call me what you want. I'm in the dark here. I just don't know how you can look at the two and be like, yeah, Shai's the guy.
Well, I mean, we are in the Rocky Mountain region. I'm not I wasn't born and raised in Colorado or anything, but I still got to say I agree because one, Joker's much better, and I even think Luka's a better player than Shai is personally. That's to my eye, to what I see. I think that the one thing that Shai is better at is foul baiting for sure.
He's elite at that.
He's elite at foul baiting. It's something I don't think we've even seen across the basketball world in any capacity as much as he foul baits. But then on top of that, I got to say something. The Thunder have the easiest schedule to start a season that I've ever seen for a championship team. If you look at their schedule, it's one of the softest schedules in the league so far. They are 17-1, and they should be. If you go back and look at what the schedule is and the teams that they've been playing and the teams that are on their schedule coming up, I mean, yeah, they beat the Lakers pretty handily in one game, but the softest schedule I've seen to open up a season. So to be 17-1 makes a lot of sense for this team when you go back and look at the schedule that they've been playing.
Yeah, I mean, the Thunder as a whole team is nothing short of impressive, right?
No, they're good.
Definitely
Don't get me
appreciate
wrong.
what they're doing.
Good. It's hard to win in this league. I'm not saying it's not hard to win, but if you look at the teams and you look at their schedule, it's a soft start.
So, I mean, I agree because you've got a 35% win rate out of those 18 teams that they played. Essentially, they played the Lakers and then the Rockets for the very beginning game of the year with a ton of new roster spots that they've filled. And so it's hard to really say that was a legitimate Rockets team. What we're seeing now is more of a cohesive Rockets team than at the beginning of the year, but they dismantled the Lakers entirely. But a 35% win rate, you should be 17-1.
Yeah,
you should.
You should be.
You should be. I don't care if
be.
Jalen Williams isn't playing on the bench. If I hear one more person say that Shai doesn't play the fourth quarter, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to freak out.
You're right there.
They've got a great team. They've got a really great team. They have probably the best front office in the league. I think that's not even a question at this point. How their front office tends to operate, is just top tier. They do a fantastic job of that. So they have the depth. They should be winning games.
Yeah, they absolutely should be winning games from the talent that they have and the team that they have. I absolutely agree, and we'll see how it goes by the end of the year. I guarantee that Shai's going to be playing a lot more fourth quarters as the year goes on. As the teams get tougher, as their schedule gets tougher, and as the games come down to more. But speaking of really good teams, I said something about them earlier last week, and I'm going to say something about them again. The Detroit Pistons on a roll, 13 straight wins, now 15-2, franchise record for the longest streak of wins. That's a young, dangerous team in the East. I know they're in Detroit and they don't get a lot of national games, so not a lot of people are seeing it, but it is really fun basketball to watch. I have to say, like, every time I turn them on, from the worst record into the East, now 13 wins in a row, rebound chemistry, it's picking up momentum. I think it's going to be an interesting team to watch over this year.
Yeah, I think the Pistons have clearly cemented themselves as a top seeded team in the East. Whether or not they have the capacity to go for the finals, I think remains to be seen. We have a lot of young, untested players here who
That's
just
where-
don't have that postseason experience
Yep.
versus a lot of battle-hardened teams in the East that really went in it last year. The Pacers aren't going to be a factor in this
No.
postseason coming up.
No.
They're kind of in a bye year without Tyrese Halliburton, who's their epic closer. So they've got a lot of competition still in the East.
They lost Miles Turner too.
They lost Miles Turner, but there's more to it than that as well.
That's
but
true.
the Pistons definitely are somebody who could surprise a lot of people. I think we're seeing some early season momentum more so than we're seeing necessarily skill. But Bickerstaff has done a really good job. He's been a successful coach in the NBA. As soon as the Grizzlies got rid of him, look at where they're at now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not worked out well for them. And then he goes to the Pistons. Look at where the Pistons are at now.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of that is attributed to their coaching. So I think that is something that will really help them win games come postseason. But I think the big question is, wow, like, way to stick it out, Cade Cunningham. I mean,
Yeah.
in a league where people are demanding trades and jumping to conclusions, he was somebody who just kept his nose down, didn't give them the sound bites that people were looking for, talking about the team, talking about the city. He stuck by the city, he stuck by his team, and as a fellow small market fan team, I have a lot of respect for that. And he was a part of a team that held the NBA record for most losses in a row.
The most losses in a row.
And
last
now
year.
he owns the record for most wins in
And-
a row for the Pistons.
And, yeah,
So what a transition for him.
from worst to first.
I'm going to steal Joel Embiid's thing. Trust the process. I think we're seeing that process work out a lot better for a lot of the teams outside of the 76ers.
Yeah, the 76ers are, actually it's interesting. They got beat pretty good the other night. And we talked about Andre Drummond squaring up. The 76ers are focused on other things right now other than winning games. That's for sure. And like you said, sticking it out. Now, I will say this with Cade. I believe that he's got maybe a new contract coming up with Nike, and I don't know if Nike's plans are for him to stay in Detroit. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that, just because that stuff always gets tricky.
Hey, you can get a lot of trouble for saying something like that. You got to watch it.
You're right.
Yeah, hey, we're live right now
Yeah.
here, DC. You got to be careful.
Hey,
They're all everywhere.
shout out Nike. Shout out Nike. I
we love
you.
you guys.
I love you,
We're
Nike.
not talking about it.
We're
right
not
now.
about to talk about it at all. And I really do like what Cade's done in a small market team. I really like when you have a player that comes in and the team goes, we are going to build around you. We're going to invest in you, and we're all invest in coaching, and we're going to invest in making this team back to the perennial team that it used to be in the 80s and early 90s. And now we're starting to see it again. And so I'm really excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see just kind of like the NBA is moving in this direction of change where, you kind of had your staples every couple, like not even a decade, but every, 5 or 6 years, you have your staples of conference leaders, East, West, even in the Pacific or the smaller, coastal conferences, if you will, not divisions, conferences and divisions. You're starting to see just a change in the power structure of who's going to be at the top. You're seeing a little bit more, I think, on the East, but there's a lot more star power in the West, I believe. If you look at just the amount of superstar power in the West, it's unbelievable. So I'm curious to see how the season ends. I'm curious to see how it goes and what we're going to end up getting as we get into, more of February, March, around that time, to see who's kind of still standing out.
Yeah, and you mentioned the young talent, and I think that's something that there is no short of it in the NBA at the moment. We mentioned the 76ers, and you look at somebody with a resurgence of talent. You brought up Andre Drummond. What a fantastic stretch of games for him.
He's a shooter.
Double-digit scoring, double-digit rebounding, shooting three-pointers.
He's a shooter.
Fun fact,
I can't believe it.
in Drummond's entire NBA career, he has made 16 three-pointers.
That's it.
His whole career. And now, just in this recent stretch of games, not even 20% into the season, he's at 23 made three-pointers on an
Jeez.
effective above 30% shooting. And what a turnaround. I just love to see guys, especially somebody like Andre, who had been out of the league for a little bit. I mean, hadn't really had his name in the headlines in a few years, not really known for anything, and basically coming back and playing his same brand of basketball with an upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, when you get to be a veteran player, and we kind of talked about this a little bit. When you get to be a veteran player, you have to be able to reimagine your game. And Andre Drummond's realizing, hey, you know what? I'm a little bit older. My body's getting beat up. I'm not going to be able to bang down here at the bottom with the big guys all game, all season anymore. How do I get myself on the court? How do I get some burn? Right, that's what we call it in basketball, getting burned. So how do I get some burn? How do I get on the court? Well, you become a 3-point shooter. You've seen it happen with a few bigs. I think even Jackson Hayes did it. What's our guy? He's on Golden State now. He's with the Celtics for a while. I can't think of his name right now. Gosh, I'll come back to it. But we're
Al Horford.
Al Horford. There we go. So I was like, Al Horford though. He's done kind of a similar thing with his game where, as you get older, I mean, you say it about LeBron too, right? Like as you get older and you have a longer career in the NBA, and if you want to get in the game, if you want to stay on the court, you're not going to be able to take hits like that over and over and over again for how long the season is. So now you're seeing a resurgence in bigger guys being able to step out and shoot the ball, especially from the top of the key, right? That's an easy shot. Step out from the top of the key, hit that down. Now you're stretching out the defense. And now you're not only making time and space for you to be on the court more, but you're making plays or making the offense be able to make plays for others. And that's a huge asset across the league.
Well, with Andre Drummond moving into the starting lineup, I think one of the big questions remain right now is somebody who watched Jokic lose the MVP to Joel Embiid. What is going on with him? I mean, have we seen the last of Joel Embiid? I honestly think that he just doesn't have anything left. I don't know if it's a mentality. I don't know if he needs a trade. I really want to know where we're at with him. I mean, is he coming back? This is somebody who was playing at the top of the league just a short while ago. I mean, we're talking about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
He was an MVP candidate. And now there's nothing to even talk about.
There's
we
nothing
have
to
nothing
talk
to even
about.
discuss with him.
Well, because we haven't seen him. And it's hard. And look, when you're 7'3", 4, I'm sure that hits on your body and hits on your ligaments and hits on your knees and hits on your ankle. They start to build up. And can he recover? I don't know. We just talked about last week how now the pace of the league is actually up. There's averaging 100 possessions a game. When you have your body like that and you've had so many injuries, are you going to be able to really withstand the fatigue that you're bringing on? It seems that Joel cannot. And I hope that he does, because I think the league is better when he's in there. I think that big men, like we were saying, stepping out and shooting, but also bringing those heated battles on the interior. I think it's better when he's there. But if he can't stay healthy, is it might be the last that we've seen him.
I think it's time for the 76ers to move on from Joel Embiid. I think it's long overdue. He doesn't fit their system anymore.
Where would you move him?
They haven't been building around him as much. Tyrese Maxey is the future of the 76ers. That's a fact. Joel Embiid's time is over. Unless he figures out a way to grow new ligaments or grow a new attitude, it's that. I think Tyrese Maxey's taken over. BJ Edgecombe has come in as a rookie, shown great promise. They've got a lot of other guys stepping up and doing a good job in that absence. But I think from an executive perspective, it's only going to get worse with the Embiid situation. Now's the time to move him. Get him in, give him a good stretch of games where he looks good, and put him on the trade block. Get him out of Philly. I don't know if you fans out in Philadelphia are still attached to him, but get him out of Philadelphia. Give him a change of scenery. Let you guys get some fresh young blood in there, and let Embiid have another shot on another team. I think that's where we're at this point.
Okay. I mean, I'm trying to think of where he would go, though. I'm trying to, looking around the league, where would Embiid go? Where would you see him at? I don't think they would let him go to the East. I don't think they'd trade him to anywhere in the East. So he'd probably have to go out West. Maybe the Trailblazers?
The Trailblazers could be fun. That would be a fun team for him.
But with what happened to Greg Odom, I would hate to see Joel to go there and have another Greg Odom situation. But I think the Blazers would be an option. Maybe I don't want to see him in Golden State, but I could see that I could see that being a good fit for him there. I mean, the Clippers need help everywhere. They need more talent everywhere. It'd be curious to see where he could go, but I agree. I think his time and the course has run in Philadelphia. I don't know how, like you said, we don't know how the Philadelphia fans feel about it. But I think I'd agree with you. It's probably time's up for Joel in Philadelphia. And where next, I don't know, but it's probably somewhere in the East.
I could
Or
definitely,
sorry, in the West. In the West.
I could definitely see Golden State. That's kind of the first team that comes to mind. They're going to be somebody who's really hunting down a quality starting center. Obviously, with the injury issues, that's a question. But the rejuvenation of a new team has a certain effect on players, especially of Joel Embiid's caliber. He's just beaten down right now. I feel for him as a fan of basketball to be such highly regarded and then kind of non-existent at this point. It's a tough fall to have. And so if I'm a GM, I could see the Heat have some assets to work with. The Warriors, the Kings, I think is more than likely the best case scenario usually because they have the assets to offer other teams right now. They've got a lot of star power.
That's not a bad one
that they're not utilizing. I mean, Levine and Sabonis for Embiid.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd take that if I'm the 76ers to
I would.
combine with Maxey. That's a pretty deadly trade combo.
That would be a really, really good trade actually for the 76ers. That would be really, really good. I was talking about I said the Blazers and I forgot that Damian Lillard is actually back on the Blazers as well. So with the
out for the season.
But I mean, if Joel's like serious about it, getting better, getting traded maybe mid-season out west, finishing out strong with the young crew that they have, figuring out the Chauncey situation. That's going to be about 12 months. With our boy Chauncey and hey, that's a rough situation. But maybe we'll talk about that sometime. But I think it might be a good spot for him if they can go team up out there. There's a corner up in the Pacific Northwest that I think they have really good fans and I think they like them. But you make a good argument about Sacramento. They're almost, I think they're a little too old. And I think that some of those guys went out there to get some new scenery and it hasn't really worked out. It's, I think Sabonis and both Levine would both be super happy to get out of there.
Yeah, it's a fresh change of scenery for Levine and Sabonis. The Kings have made it clear that they're available. I mean, we're talking about the Sacramento Bulls out there thinking that the DeMar DeRozan and Levine situation was somehow going to be different. I don't know what executive thought that was the case. They clearly didn't have the right dynamic on the Bulls. There were some fun games, but it just didn't translate to winning, and they had all the talent to do so, and the Bulls are doing better than they were now.
Yeah,
without those necessary star players. It's younger talent and Josh Giddey and Montes Buzelis, but it's a change of scenery for Embiid, and I think that's something that's realistic for them. I think the Blazers could potentially work out if the contracts make sense. I don't know what assets the Blazers would have in order to attract a team like the Sixers who would like to make a playoff run. They've got enough talent. Tyrese Maxey has scored over 50 points twice this season.
Yep.
He's a clear starting all-star guard at the moment.
Yeah.
And they're going to need a couple of extra guys to throw into that depth. They've got some younger talent along with that. I think that's a good trade option. If the 76ers haven't considered that, might be something they start talking about. I think it's time.
It might be. It'll be interesting, and we're getting close to the point in the season where the trades start happening, talk starts happening, movement starts happening around the league. I'm curious. It's something that we're going to have to watch for sure. We're going to have to keep our eye on all season. Curious what happens to the West in general. Could you see the Nuggets changing their team at all?
No, not to the point that it's going to make a serious impact.
You don't think so?
I think what they're going to do, if anything, is around February, All-Star break, where the trade deadline comes into play, is they will shop a combination of bench players. They have no picks really to deal with. They're in all-in mode right now.
Yep.
So there is a potential that they could shop some guys on the bench that maybe particularly aren't working out on rotations. If they can somehow magically dump Zeke's contract like they did with our guy last season, Sarge, I would really like to see something happen like that. that's a pretty once in a million type trade. I still don't know why the Kings. I know they were dumping cap space for Schroeder, but I don't know. Kind of a weird move. Super happy as a Nuggets fan about it. But I mean, that's kind of the only thing that they can look to do is move somebody like Zeke in combination with Spencer Jones, or I know Jalen Pickett too. I mean, they've got a pretty solid bench, and Bruce Brown has to be on the team. Hardaway Jr. has to be on the team. Valanciunas has to be on the team. Those three have to be on the team. So they're going to have to figure out a way to attract some potential trade targets, and it's going to be hard to find some hidden gem talent.
Yeah, I can see a backup guard. They need a
facilitator.
Like a true come in, give Jamal rest, and an actual backup point guard to come in and run the show, facilitate. I can see them looking for something like that. We'll see how it works out. It'd be interesting to see like our good buddy Norman Powell. Something like that.
Well, the contract's definitely
that's not gonna work. But
I mean, Norman Powell isn't gonna make his way.
He's not gonna make his way. But just throwing names that I'd like to see.
Hey, Norman Powell's a dog. And as we wrap up the Around the League segment, the last thing I want to talk about is the dog of the week. My dog of the week. He's on the Phoenix Suns.
Okay.
Everybody loves to hate this guy, myself included. Not somebody that I've been a big fan of, really ever. It's Dillon Brooks.
Okay.
Dillon Brooks is the dog of the week. This guy has really elevated his game this season, and I just like the brand of basketball he's playing. He's brought a great energy to the Suns, who have a starting point guard in Colin Gillespie. Shout out our ex-Nuggets guy right there. It's been a fun team to watch, and Dillon Brooks has been the heart of that team. Big shout out to him. He is balling out right now. I think that needs to be talked about more.
Dang, Dillon Brooks is an interesting name, and he is a dog. He's always going to have a chip on his shoulder. He's always going to be a hard-nosed player. You're going to get 100% from him all game, maybe even 110, get a little chippy while you're out there. So, no, I can't disagree with you there. I can't disagree with you on that one. That's a good dog of the week. That's a good dog of the week. I mean, personal, it's tough when your team's going up against him. He's one of those players that you like him when he's on your team, you hate him when he's on the other team or the team that you're playing against. You hate it because you know exactly what you're getting all game long. I thought the Grizzlies should have kept him because I thought that was the only thing that was kind of making them the chippy Grizzlies other than John. We'll talk about him, but Wow. Okay. That's your dog of the week, huh? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, 26 points per game over his last 4 games. He's just that annoying bug on defense that just doesn't go away. He's got that Draymond Green-esque attitude that's just tough. And whether or not you agree with whether he's tough or not, he's showing it on the court right now and providing a lot of needed juice for the Suns. They don't look half bad. Now, I don't think they're playoff contenders, but they're a lot better off than I thought they would be after the Kevin Durant trade. So I love seeing it. I love him playing with this mentality. It's just what makes the NBA better. But I think now it's time.
I got to prepare my dog of the week next week. I got a good dog of the week.
Well, it's time now for our court report reactions. We've got some great stuff lined up here to talk about and discuss.
Oh boy.
DC, what do you got to start us off here with some of these reactions?
Well, first off, I want to start off with an old buddy, old friend of mine. I didn't like what I saw the other day. Here's a clip here. And we'll talk about it right after with John Clay here.
Had something to say back, and then John, I didn't see that the first time. I saw that the first time, and where he comes from, I don't know. You didn't even play tonight, so you should have been in the locker room already.
See, I 100% agree, and I gotta say, let's stop the disrespect of our old heads and our real legends to the game. Clay is a true life legend to this basketball game, this NBA crowd. Did you know that there's less than 6,000 people that have ever played in the NBA? Total, ever. He's going to be one of the best to ever go down. He's one of the best shooters ever. He's 4-time champion, and he's done more at 26 than Ja will probably do at 35, which Clay is right now. And we got to stop this disrespect the fact that he's calling him "you're a bum" now, this and that, this is unnecessary disrespect from a guy who, yes, is he in the twilight part of his career? Has he come back from 2 major injuries? Yes, and he's still making a lot of money. He's still putting up numbers for a team. Now, is he having a down year? Absolutely. He's not as great, but he will go down as a Hall of Famer. He will go down as one of the best shooters that we've ever seen in this league. And we should respect our OGs in this league that are still playing and still being able to go out there and put it on the line every night. I didn't like that. I don't like the putting the hand in the face. I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's not doing anything, man. Clay's out there acting like a kid. I don't like that. I don't think Clay is operating with very much professionalism right now. He's acting like he doesn't care. I think Ja had a point. I mean, Ja's a bum in his own right, but Clay's acting like a bum lately. He is acting like a bum, and he may be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he is not concerned with basketball right now. He looks checked out. He just doesn't seem like the guy we remember. He's going to be one of the greatest of the 6,000, best catch and shoot player to ever do it. 60 points in 90 seconds of possession is, I don't even know how you can do that, but
it's incredible.
Why you got to act like this? Why you got to be a little kid? Why you got to act like you're 16? He's not throwing punches. He's not going to fight Ja Morant on the court.
No.
Why are you being theatrical?
No, but he's always been a talker, right? He's always talked his stuff. He's always been there's better words than a smack talker. That's a better word to probably say. Try not to cuss. Parents might be out there watching. He's a smack talker. And that's part of the game. That's always been part of the game. But when you put your fingers in people's faces and you're spitting on people, all that kind of stuff, I think that's a little bit too much. But I agree. He's having a down year. He's in his hot girl era. He's in his hot girl era. And
he's in a hot girl era.
Yeah, right. he's in a hot girl era. All right. And maybe he's a little sassy. Obviously, the Dallas Mavericks are terrible. They're not winning any games, and they're losing actually at the end of the games quite often. They're terrible in the clutch. I think they're like last in the clutch,
bottom of the league.
Yeah. So I get it. He's not used to losing like this at this level. Maybe he should have stayed in Golden State.
Kind of looks that way. Yeah.
But you got a hot girl. You're down in Dallas, and you're not doing well. But I still think that we gotta, I didn't like what I saw. I think, Clay, he still deserves his respect. I don't think he should be involving himself in all of this. And Ja looks worse somehow, though, on the bench constantly, causing problems behind the scenes on his team, causing problems in the NBA. It's just a bad look overall.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think we all know the PR team is a lot better in Golden State than it is in Dallas. That's for sure. They haven't handled anything well recently. But speaking of things that are tough to see,
we've
got some league fits. We've got some tunnel talk for this week.
Let's get into this tunnel talk here. I think this is exciting this week. I think we're going to have a lot to talk about here. So let's get into our first look here. What do you think about the real life sleeping bag with the sweater, with the crew neck, and the jeans on the ground? But this is a sleeping bag. I just wish that the sleeves weren't, up here. Why are the sleeves so?
I don't know what I'm looking at. It's a
sleeping bag.
It's a sleep. I mean, it literally looks like a designer took a full-fledged sleeping bag, cut the bottom off, folded out the top a little bit to give him some a lapel, give him kind of a dressier jacket look. And then, yeah, I mean, that's like straight nylon. I think. Is that Shea?
I think so.
That's Shea right there. I mean, that just looks ridiculous. I mean, that's crazy. And then you've got the crazy baggy pants, a sweater.
But don't forget the purse.
The purse.
Remember we talked about this.
Oh gosh, the purse.
This is not a bag. This is a purse. This is a purse. There's a difference between a bag and a purse. That is a purse.
He looks like a lady from the 1950s ready for a night on the town in New York.
Or he's coming
during the holidays.
He's coming home because his sweater's a little off kilter now. He's had enough holiday schnapps. He's walking out of the bar
He looks like he's trying to recreate an outfit from The Godfather in the 1920s with the jacket, and then just was like, I'll just throw it over whatever the heck I'm wearing.
Yeah, this is gonna be it's gonna be a no for me on this one.
Yeah, I'm that's a not it. That's definitely a not it fit.
Now, let's check out this next one. I really like these pants. I really like them. I like them. I don't know if I would wear them, but I really like them. I think that this is a whole, it's a whole look. You got the hat, you got the white shirt, the chain, and then everything else is in the pants. You let the pants do the talking. How do you feel about this fit?
I think with that analysis, I do feel a little better about it. I think that makes sense that you kind of downplay the rest of the fit to put the focus on the pants situation, but I don't know. I think they're matching your shoes right now. We've got some shoes courtesy at 361 here.
That's right. Check them
Peppa
out.
Pigs. I think Peppa Pig would wear that. Let's put it that way.
Let me get the Peppa Pigs up there.
Look at that.
What do you guys think
Those
of
are nice. And we got the Joker ones too.
Shout out Joker. Shout out 361. Let's go.
They're the best. They're the best right now.
361.
They're so creative and they're just doing things differently than a lot of these other major brands. I'm a huge fan of 361 Sports and what they've got going on right now. I can't wait for them to come out with new designs. We've seen the Joker 2
Shout out.
pop up. They dropped the Denver edition with the satin light blue. I can't wait. I'm super excited.
Oh, I gotta get my foot in. I gotta get my foot in one of those.
Yeah, they've got some of the
nice.
coolest combos. So just be looking out for the Joker 2s to drop soon. We saw the last of the Joker 1, so we're moving into a new era for Joker for the back half of the year.
Let's go. And I
Yeah.
gotta say, they're comfy on the foot. They're sturdy. You could definitely hoop in these. These are hooping shoes. So go check them out. But go check out the Joker 2s. 361. Shout out. Thanks again, man. This is amazing. But we got another look for you.
Oh my gosh. Well, I hope he's wearing some 361. Otherwise,
We got
I don't
another
know how
look
much
for
I'm
you.
gonna like it. Oh my god. What?
So you got
Where
You
are
got
they
some-
buying clothes?
I don't know where you get pink leather shirt. Got John on there saying
Yeah, our
Temu.
studio manager.
We
Big
got-
shout out,
big
John.
shout
with
out, John.
Probably the most likely scenario.
They must be Temu, but pink leather baggy shorts, the long sleeve underneath the polo. What do you rate this one?
Oh, what do I rate it? Like a 3? I mean, we've got like 3 different eras of outfits here, and the top is rocking like that 2010s Kanye West era.
Polo era,
we
the
got
polo I'm cool with.
the
I
back
like
to
the
school,
polo.
graduation, and then what is with the pants, man? What is with leather pants? I am sick of leather pants. Why did these suddenly come back into fashion?
I have no idea.
Why are they infecting basketball specifically? What is
Well,
the
you know
benefit
what?
of leather pants? This isn't the 80s. We're not rock stars.
I
These
have-
guys are here to play basketball.
I have an idea. Maybe it's maybe because, especially, and he's not even playing right now. He's out right now. But maybe it's because in basketball, when you're arriving at the arena, you just throw on the leather pants, and you only have to wear them from the car to the locker room, and then they're off, right? So maybe it's just a statement because you don't have to wear them all day, right? Like if we're wearing leather pants, we got to go through our whole day in leather pants, which seems ridiculous. But maybe it's just because they're wearing them for a couple seconds.
So you're saying they're coming to the game,
Yeah.
not wearing pants,
No, they're
putting pants on,
Oh,
and then going down the tunnel? Is that what we're saying?
well, even if they are wearing them in the car, they're just wearing them in the car.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I get it. I think my question is, why the heck are we wearing leather pants? I don't even think it matters the time that they're wearing pants. It would be a thing if it was just one guy or 2 guys. I think I've seen 10 players in the past
Maybe
7
more
days
than that. Maybe more
pop
than that.
up.
Yeah.
in leather freaking pants. Where
And
did
these
this
are
come
short.
from?
These are leather shorts.
These are shorts.
These are leather shorts.
and they're
And
they
they're
have
baggy.
enough material to be pants. You could have made pants out of all that material right there.
True.
I don't know.
very wide
Maybe
leg.
I'm out of touch with fashion nowadays because
I think we're both out of touch
this
with
looks
this
like
one.
one of those photos where the top is a different photo and the
And-
bottom was somebody
and they-
else.
they
and
matched
they like
up.
cropped it on top of each other because like he even has like a little tilt, so it looks like they didn't quite do it right. This is it's a big no for me.
This is a big no for you. I think it's gonna be a no for me too, man. This is
Not it.
Not it.
Not
it. Here we got one more for you.
Oh my gosh. I really want to like some of these. I really do. I think I will say I like this one more because of the color combo. We have less crazy color combinations. It looks like
The leather.
now that I see it,
Oh,
I'm
that's
pretty
fur.
sure it's not, but it looks like it's
That's fur.
a vest over a leather jacket. Is that what I'm doing?
I'm
Or
not
is that
sure.
one jacket?
I'm not. I think it's one jacket. I think the sleeves are sewn in to the fur leather.
Fur leather.
That is fur. That's
Well, that's
leather
where fur
with
comes
fur.
from.
Yeah, I guess they take the fur out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But there's fur, thin fur, kind of like a rug fur, and then there's leather on the bottom. And then I think the sleeves are sewn. So I believe it's a whole jacket.
I don't hate it. I don't think I hate it. I really don't. I don't dislike this one.
I mean,
as
from
much.
over here, it looks really nice.
It's
as
a
far
it's
as-
a better put together fit.
Color wise, it's balanced nice. There's also another purse,
that
although
our
this
guy
one might be a
Clarkson?
bag. Yeah, this is our boy Jeremy Clarkson. I don't know.
I'd say this one's it.
I like it, but it's something I wouldn't wear it once again. But I don't think that this one is anything close to as bad as the pink shorts.
Oh
were.
my god, no. I mean, this at least looks fashionable to me. When I think of a fashionable person,
Yeah,
this is what comes to mind. I think too much of fashion is what's the most ridiculous thing I can wear?
yeah.
Because somebody so and so's name made it. And if you have to tell me who made it, if you have to tell me how much it costs, it's not a good outfit.
It's not a good outfit.
It's not a good outfit. If that's the main reasoning behind it being a good outfit,
right.
it's not a good one.
Right. If you're wearing it just because it has these brand names and these brand tags and this price tag, and it doesn't look good, doesn't make it look good just because it's more expensive. That's where you're coming from.
Exactly.
Okay. I agree. I would agree. I'd rather it be something whatever and it just look good.
Yeah, I mean that should be the reason you wear an outfit because it looks good. You could wear a $20 outfit from Kmart and it can look good if you can dress correctly to your style and your look and everything. You can make anything look good. I think we've seen that with a number of players, but just throwing crap on there.
So you're saying that you don't think the pink shorts guy, you think he thought he looked good when he left?
I think this is this is the stylist, man. It's got to be. I mean, just fashion's changing. We're getting older. Kids are younger. These are kids in the league.
That's true. They're young guys. They're young guys.
We're
Jeremy Clark's not
separated
so much,
by a whole generation of age.
That's true.
But I don't get it. I don't know. I'd like to think my generation dressed differently, but we probably look just as dumb. It's a cycle. It's a cycle.
We'll have to
Fashion
go through
rotates,
our
it changes. You mix eras. You come up with a new one. You come up with something new, and we're just seeing the recycling, especially now. It's this 90s recycling going on.
Yeah, you're right. It's the baggy, the wide legs. We already went through the ripped jeans, but I'm telling you, kids, when it comes to winter, you're gonna be like, "Dang it, I don't want these baggy pants on the ground getting wet all the time." Just warning you. I'm just warning you. Just a friendly warning from me. That's all.
Well, I think that's all we have for our reactions today, DC.
I think so. I think those are some pretty good looks, though. I think that was.
It's a wide variety. We've
yeah.
got a wide variety there. Well, everyone stay warm out there this Thanksgiving. We appreciate all of you for watching the Court Report. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays here from us at the Court Report.
Happy Thanksgiving. Be safe out there. If you're traveling, safe travels. Go ahead and spend time with your friends or your family or your chosen family. And we really hope that it is a truly special holiday weekend for everyone out there. What's your number one go-to for your dish?
Oh, number one dish go-to. Well, I actually really like to cook at home. My wife, for those of you who know, is one of the best cooks in Colorado. That's just a fact. And I tend to be the one to do all the cooking at home because she does it for work. So I like it all. I love a good ham. I've got a nice, really high quality ham from Tony's Meat Market. Really excited to throw that on the smoker and taste that.
Ooh, smoked ham.
Yeah, a little smoked ham, little oven roasted turkey. We're doing a good combo this year.
Let's go. I am always the one that is chosen to do the macaroni and cheese every year. That is just my parents and my family. They always are like, "You're doing it.
You breadcrumbs guy? Breadcrumbs on your mac and cheese?
I put breadcrumbs on half. I don't like breadcrumbs necessarily on mine because I like a nice crispy crust there at the
All
top
right.
because it's it's layered and it's baked and it's beautiful.
Well, that sounds delicious.
So,
well,
yeah,
thank you all for
thanks,
joining
guys.
us here at the Core Report, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.